Yes. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Visalia, California. I'm Reverend Nan Bankston, the senior minister here. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our meditation time from 10 to 10:15. And we're going to be listening to some beautiful piano music from Chase Sanborn today. Kevin's on vacation, a well-deserved vacation. And so Chase will be playing again with us today, and we're very blessed to have him. I invite you to sit back and enjoy your time in meditation. And as you do that, you can contemplate this meditation thought. Meditation. I'll be back at 10:15. Well, welcome back from your meditation. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful piano music while you were meditating. Again, we're getting ready here, now that it's 10:15, to have our meet and greet time where everybody comes into the sanctuary. And for those of you who are at home, I just recommend that you get yourself a beverage, a snack, get comfortable, settle down, and then be back at 10:30 and be all ready for our wonderful celebration service this morning. And I'll look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, we have a lovely slideshow for you, and you can just relax and enjoy that. We'll be back at 10:30.
Hi, I'm here. I can hear you. I can hear you. No?
It's not easy being green, having to spend the day the color of the leaves, when I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that. It's not easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over because you're not standing out like flashy sparkles on the water or stars in the sky. But green's the color of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like. Green can be big like a mountain, important like a river, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why. But why wonder, why wonder? I'm green and it'll do fine. It's beautiful and I think it's what I want to be.
What a beautiful thing. Hey, did you get the mood lighting in here? I don't know if y'all can see it out there, but we had like the whole lounge setting going on here. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday service here in, now let me see. I'm in Visalia, California today. Yes, I am. Woo-hoo. You know, every so often you have a little slip of the whatever there. So, welcome. And is there anybody here for the first time? I don't think so. I think everybody's been here before, so it's nice to have you all here. I am Reverend Nan Bankston, for those of you who are out there in virtual land, looking at things and wondering what's really happening. You're on YouTube with the Center for Spiritual Living here in Visalia, California, and this is our Sunday service, and we're really happy to have you out there with us. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being with us. So, I believe we have some announcements. Okay. We had a little blivet in the slide there. I'm not sure what that was about, but here we are. So there's a new class starting. I'm going to be hosting that on 5 Saturdays in July. It's the Science of Mind, Spiritual Principles and Practices. And it is Saturdays from 10 until 12 in the morning, so that people have the opportunity to attend who may be at work. There's a sign-up sheet, and you can see me after service or send me an email or call me if you'd like more information about it. It will be here in the sanctuary. And now this is an interesting announcement. This is a little bit of a thing. It's kind of a fundraising event. The Center for Spiritual Living, the larger organization, Centers for Spiritual Living, is hosting a very interesting spiritual discussion about different movies. So one of our members, Donna Orozco, thought that it would be fun for people to host a movie night at their home and then be able to also have participate in the Zoom the following week for the discussion with the folks at the Centers for Spiritual Living who are facilitating the spiritual discussions about the movies. So if you have any interest in this, you can give Donna Orozco a call. There's also some other things that we can do. The sign up to host is not on the back table because I forgot to bring it today. So dadgummit, Donna, I'm sorry. But we'll get it here again right quick. If you talk to her, she's on vacation this week, but you can check in with her. The book of the month is The Body is Not an Apology. We've been talking about the body for this month. And the new Science of Mind magazine for July is now in the bookstore. So we have the June Science of Mind magazines, and we also have the July one now, so you can get that. This is a very interesting book about everything that we've ever been told about our bodies and many other things that create anything that is definitely not radical self-love. So I encourage everybody to read it. We may be doing a book study on this at some point, and we'll stay tuned because you never know. There's a workbook that goes with it. The One Hope Choir rehearses after service on the first and third Sundays. This is the third Sunday, so there will be a rehearsal today, and the choir members will be here. So it starts right after service, like 11:30ish or so, and they will be rehearsing their songs. And you know, they're going to be singing at upcoming select Sunday services, so I look forward to hearing everybody. And now we have our inclusivity quote. Also, I want to mention that Kaching will be right after service. That's our little prosperity thing that we've got going for the next 5 weeks. We started it last week, and if you're here in the sanctuary, you can stay after and participate in it. I know some of the folks that are here today were here last week, so I look forward to spending time with you. We're talking about ways to increase abundance and be aware of abundance to make that increase happen. Very interesting program for 6 weeks. So now it's time for our inclusivity quote. And this week, our quote is from S. Kelly Harrell, who is an interesting writer who does spirit healing and is an animism expert. She also practices shamanic healing, and for those of you who would be interested, you could Google her on the website by her name. And she has a very beautiful, provocative quote now, selected by Carol Greening, one of our inclusivity diversity team members. Every week we have one of our team members who selects a quote special for this week, and this week it was Carol. So thank you, Carol. So the quote is, "We don't heal in isolation, but in community." And I do think that's part of why we're all here right now. So now it's time for our practitioner, who is a remote practitioner, Kim Bebo, today, to come in over Zoom to provide our weekly affirmation and an opening treatment.
Speak? Okay.
Is that the monitor or what?
Good morning. Good morning. It's so lovely to see you all. I can't actually see you, but it's lovely to know that you're there and I can hear you. My name is Kim Bebo. I think somebody said that before, but I couldn't hear that either. So it's just a wonderful day in this neighborhood. I am one of the practitioners at your center. Oh, of course, right now, I'm not there. But I'd like to read the practitioner visioning statement that was developed about a month ago. We visioned for this statement as a group of practitioners. The CSLV practitioners team stands by everyone, supporting all with love as we grow and expand. And as that expansion, I'd like to read the affirmation for today. I feel and honor every sensation in my body. And since I couldn't hear you read it, maybe you'd like to read it too. I'm sure it's up on the screen. I feel and honor every sensation in my body. And now I'd like to do prayer. If you'll just take a moment, gently close your eyes or take a view of something distant. And take this moment to be with the One. Every moment of every day, God is all there is, all the power and presence there is. It is all around and through life. It is the consciousness of nature, the love, the beauty, the power that is never separate, never less than, always the bright and shining beacon of light that can be seen by all. In that allness of beauty and light, Spirit is in, as, and through each one of us. Spirit shines as the essence of who we are, the beauty from within, and of the life we live. As this love surrounds us, it is us. This form that is us is forever and ever. That light that shines through us is what each of us sees. It is a form, their spiritual wetsuit that we see when we look at those beings around us. I know great gratitude for the beloveds who speak and sing today, for all of those who have shown up in this sacred space. This is ever expanding into the light and love that surrounds us. I release these words into the law with love of the universe, and I trust this is so. And if you'll join me, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. And I just want to say for everybody here that, am I on now? After service, Janice will be in the practitioner room offering our short personal prayer if you would like one. So she'll be here because Kim's up in Grants Pass and can't be here offering prayer directly. So Janice is covering for that. Thank you, Janice. And now we have most excellent music from our band. The words are going to be up on the screen, and you'll be able to sing along. And I highly recommend that you sing along because it's a great affirmation in this song about just how perfect you are.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me.
start the day. I tell you, we have these wonderful voices. Hope, Deanna, magnificent. Joe on the drums. Joe's back from tour, so he's hanging out with us today for a change. And then we have Phil on the guitar, and of course Chase is filling in for Kevin, who's on vacation today. So I think we've got the acoustics. We're having a little bit of sound weirdness here today, so pardon me if I'm a little distracted because we've had just a little bit of sound stuff. So I think we're all on track right now. Well, good morning again and happy Father's Day. How many of you have been fathers or in the role of being a father to biological or non-biological children and other beings in the course of your life? Yeah. Well, let's give everyone a big hand. And for those of you who are out in virtual community, share this applause also. You know, today is also Juneteenth, and in the African American communities, June 19th is also considered Emancipation Day, since it symbolizes the end of slavery and commemorates the reading of President Abraham Lincoln's General Order Number 3 on June 19th in 1865 in Texas, which announced the freeing of slaves. Now, that message, that Emancipation Proclamation, had actually been signed 2 years before, but the message took about 2 years to get to Texas before the slaves were freed. And it took a long time to move it across the country, as was the case then, you know. Well, it became, finally, after much hard work by many people and consciousness raising by many, many others, it became an official national federal holiday last year when President Biden signed the measure into law, and it took just a few seconds for that memorable event to be sent out through our technology instead of 2 years. So I am very delighted that we have finally moved into a place where this is recognized. And how important it is to so many people in our community around our country. You know, I do believe that open, honest communication and shared experience is the significant key to healing. And you know, there's much in the history of this country that needs to be faced, released, and resolved not to be lived again. As Maya Angelou said, history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. But if faced with courage, it need not be lived again. Which leads me to my message today. Scoreboards are for sports. Now, I suppose that might sound really odd after that beautiful Maya Angelou quote about oppression and discrimination. However, our monthly theme is Living Everyday Wonder, the Body. And we're going to be visiting today about how the history of everything we or others have ever told us about our bodies does not have to be relived or continued. Our bodies keep score of every thought, mental attitude, and trauma they experience. Scoreboards in sports keep track of who's winning, who's losing, and other vital statistics, right? They have no place in our bodies, but we often have the habit of keeping track on our mental scoreboards of all the negative thoughts, judgments, and energy we invest in comparing and criticizing our bodies based on historical, cultural, and personal beliefs and experiences. Now, whether we try to push these pains away mentally or not, they are stored in our body, and eventually they must be addressed in order to live free and authentic lives. We opened our service with It's Not Easy Being Green. And it's a great song that some of you may remember that Kermit the Frog sang about the dilemma of being a different color and never feeling like he fit in to the world around him. And thank you, Deanna, for wearing green and being Kermit. You know, Sesame Street taught a lot of kids and parents, for that matter, that they were okay, no matter what they looked like, where they lived, what they ate, or what their families were like. And Kermit and Miss Piggy's love affair is legendary. And both of them are superb examples of looking beyond the criticalities and judgments of appearances and differences. Just as collective consciousness is laden with eons of historical events, beliefs, and memories, so are our bodies great historians. Sometimes, even when we think we have moved past self-recrimination and our own negative self-talk, we find our bodies are a perfect example of the creative power of the mind, both ours, the collective unconscious or society's mind, and the one mind. They respond and are ready to manifest what they're told. Thus, we have the scoreboards of everything that happened to us, everything that we've told ourselves, and from the history of humanity. Now, many of us have had experiences of mind-body healing in one form or another. And while this is a wonderful and powerful connection to be aware of and utilize, we need to remember that our bodies are always listening to our minds and following the instructions they're given. To quote Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder of Science of Mind, religious science in the beginning, the intelligence in the physical body is a subconscious intelligence. It works creatively, but within certain fixed limitations. It's like a person sent on an errand and told what to do and knowing only to do what they are told. So it's important to be mindful with the instructions and imprints we give, and important to remember that our bodies will store emotions or thoughts that we try to push down. Personal, societal, and ancestral traumas can be stored in our bodies, and ignoring them or using spiritual bypass to gloss over the experience rather than heal it only lets the wound fester. By bypassing our traumas, we're telling our bodies that they can't have freedom, and this can manifest as disease or discomfort. Healing, health, learning to feel our feelings, and releasing old or stuck emotions and sensations doesn't always happen overnight either. We live in a three-dimensional world where everything has a beginning and an ending. And this creates a thought process that encourages us to think of healing and growth as linear or binary events. An example might be, I used to have this or that, disease or trauma, but I processed it, and it's done. Boom. However, this isn't the way that any growth happens, and health and a harmonious mind-body system just isn't a yes or no question. There's a whole spectrum of health, and the path through healing means looking at our own experiences of our lives in new and different ways, over and over again. Likewise, healing cultural and societal systems that have created widespread trauma won't happen immediately. But we can each do our parts to heal it in ourselves and our societies. Collective trauma, like that imparted by centuries of racist structures and oppression, leaves a mark on all of us, though some are obviously more personally and deeply affected. And while Juneteenth may be a specific holiday relevant to folks in the United States, across the world, people of color have experienced deep ancestral trauma and personal trauma from which they all deserve liberation. The systems in which we live and by which many of us are repeatedly harmed and traumatized cannot maintain themselves without our support. By uncovering, resisting, and dismantling these systems, we create a world in which we collectively begin to heal and co-create a world that works for everyone. And that starts, guess where? Yep, by healing individual experiences of trauma, through which we can begin to heal the collective grief and correct oppressive systems. Now, we can't heal what we refuse to look at, though whether it's our physical health or trauma that is widespread for many. And sometimes really delving into the physical or felt experiences of our pain, sorrow, or trauma can be terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And it's understandable that we are tempted to just push them away or try complicated mental maneuvers to avoid processing the feelings about all of it. But here's the important point. It's important to remember that they're called feelings, not thinkings. Okay? We feel our experiences, and we may use our minds to help process them, but our bodies are going to hold these imprints until we permit them to be felt and released. Often, all these retained feelings and sensations need are to be seen and felt in order to relax and move on. The body can and will send increasing alarm signals through pain, disease, or other ailments until it is heard. By learning to be present to what is, even if it's uncomfortable, and listening to our body's signals, we have the potential to grow out of past trials and traumas. So I invite each of us to begin to clear our old scoreboard entries, to start with that clean scoreboard of perfect wholeness, and let it remain as the truth of our scores. No matter what we experience, there is always that within us that is the divine essence of love at the very center of our being. And it is that which nothing has ever been able to touch, damage, or harm by anything or anyone. To quote Dr. Holmes again, he says, "The divine presence, being everywhere and filling all space, must be in me. It must be that which I really am. I recognize it's within me, and it is that which I am. I let this recognition of indwelling divinity flow through my entire consciousness. I let it reach down into the very depths of my being, and I rejoice in it." When we become observers of our bodies, when we move into a place of mindfulness with curiosity rather than fear, we can become more fully engaged with the totality of our being, spirit, mind, and body. You know, Bessel van der Kolk writes in his book, The Body Keeps Score, mindfulness not only makes it possible to survey our internal landscape with compassion and curiosity, but it can also actively steer us in the right direction for self-care. And self-care is incredibly important. Incredibly important. It's something that we all kind of push aside and say, that's okay for everybody else, but not for me. No. Have a reset on that one too, besides the scoreboard. One method of this type of self-care is called the body scan meditation. Now, there's pre-recorded body scan meditations that are available. All you have to do is go on Google or whatever other explorer you use to find things. And you're going to find a number of them, and you can find one that you like and listen to them and just go through a body scan and see what's going on with you and be able to release certain things. There are also a number of beautiful meditations in the section in the back of our Science of Mind text that's titled, imagine this, Meditations for Self-Help and Healing. Now, sometimes I find that if I just need a quick reset or longer one, I can open to that section and put my finger on one, and I find it uplifting and reaffirming the truth of my being every time. I also encourage spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer, to claim an openness and a willingness to be an observer. That's where it starts, to be able to detach ourselves just a bit and observe. And our practitioners and I are here and ready to support you with that. And perhaps, as I've mentioned and reiterated over the past couple of months, in the instance of deep trauma, seeking support and assistance from a therapist skilled in that particular trauma can be invaluable. But in the final analysis, whatever we do to understand, heal, accept, and honor our body leads to a greater understanding of the truth of our physical and spiritual being. And that is, wait for it, wholeness. Wholeness is love expressing. Wholeness is our inseparable connection to all that is, the thing itself, as Dr. Holmes called spirit, God, whatever we want to call it, and all creation. So, to complete my message today, I'm incorporating a passage from Dr. Ernest Holmes from the book 365, Science of Mind, a Daily Guide. And if you don't have one, you might want to get it, because every day there's a little message there. There's also messages every day in the Science of Mind magazine. This is going to serve also as the closing prayer for my message today. So I invite you to sit comfortably and simply be at peace as you take in these words that declare and affirm your truth, your truth. And just taking a breath and allowing that breath to revitalize and move through your entire body and being. Recognizing there is one living spirit, I know that I am some part of the divine being. That the power and the presence of that spirit is in the word I speak. And that word infinitely, perfectly, and permanently reveals the wholeness of the living spirit in all creation. I know I represent an individualization of the truth, the wholeness, the truth of love. And as I know this is true for me, it must be true for everyone here and beyond the sound of my voice. For all creation appears as a unique individualization of that living spirit. Each is an individualization of the truth of wholeness, love, peace, and joy. And the truth of freedom, of the circulation of the living spirit in every atom, every function, and every organ. I declare that the divine power of the living spirit is working here and now in this moment. And I embrace this realization with complete certainty, knowing that we are all perfect beings, knowing that all good is real. And I also affirm that good alone is the only thing that has any power to act or react. Everything that is done, said, or thought today will be done, said, or thought from spiritual wholeness, and that expression of the living spirit in everything. Claiming this power neutralizes every false experience and makes that which is crooked straight and all the rough places smooth. I claim and accept that the law of harmony is established for me and all individuals in every experience. This includes the law of prosperity, the sense of health and happiness. And right now, right here, I accept this for all, for it is the birthright of all creation. I accept all good, and I claim it as the experience of complete wholeness for all, knowing with absolute certainty that love always prevails. I give thanks for the truth of knowing perfection, unity, and wholeness in all creation. And I release my word into the law that always says, yes, my beloved's yes, knowing that it is already done. Together we may affirm it by saying, and so it is. And now we have wonderful music from our band. Thank you.
that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light.
Was so very beautiful. Thank you so much. I do love that song, and you know that really is the truth of our being. So remember that as you go on your day today. And now it's time for our conscious giving, our prosperity sharing. So we have our conscious giving affirmation. If you'd just like to take your gift of love, your treasure, and place it in your hands, put it close to your heart, your intention, whatever it may be, a blessing, whatever you have to offer today. Just take it to your heart and say with me, I live in infinite prosperity that is always winning in my life. Now we'll do it again. I got ahead of you all there. I live in infinite prosperity that is always winning in my life. Let's do it again. I live in infinite prosperity that is always winning in my life. And I know that as these gifts are being brought forth, it's the pure love of Spirit through each and every individual here that shows up in the prosperity and abundance of every life in this place, everywhere in this world. So at home, you can place your donation over our website or on Facebook. I highly recommend the website. It's a lot easier to use. And so we're very grateful because it's been through the gifts of pure spirit and the love of everyone here and afar that our center continues to thrive. And we do thrive, and we are alive, and we're doing it right here in Visalia every Sunday and beyond. And so for this and so much more, I'm so very grateful. These gifts of love are a pure spirit in reciprocal abundance. And it is what it is that is keeping us going and prospering and thriving. I say thrive. Can you say thrive? Thrive. Yes, yes. We thrive. So it is with great joy and with great love in my heart that I receive these gifts of spirit, the pure love of spirit, knowing that each one returns to the giver 100-fold or more. We can never, ever, ever outgive God. That I know for sure. And so I bless them, and I know they do good work in this center, in this community, and in the world. And for this and so much more, I am so grateful. And so it is. And now, it's time for our peace song. And we usually get down and get in a circle and hold hands. And whatever everybody is most comfortable doing at this point, you can hold hands or not. You can stand and just keep your hand to yourself. It's all about comfort because we still have stuff going on. There's always stuff going on. No, the dog doesn't like this part.
Now there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
There we go. So this is the time when we do our little benediction. So you can repeat after me. We've got our companion dog here, Hulk, and he's just visiting with everybody. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in the body of my affairs. I think it. Oh, and I feel it. And I love it. I love it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Have a wonderful day, and we will be having ka-ching in a few minutes, and then the board meeting is this afternoon at 12:30. If anybody's interested, some of us will be staying. So I forgot that in the announcement. So we're all good to go. Have a great week, everybody out there and in here. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
It's not easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves. When I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that. It's not easy being green. It seems to blend in with so many other ordinary things. And people tend to pass you over 'cause you're not standing out like splashy sparkles on the water or stars in the sky.